The trees are shedding their leaves, your tomato plants have perished with the first cold snap, you freeze your bits off every time you step out into the open, and snow and ice and treacherous road conditions are imminent. Your only means of transport for the winter months is the bicycle. Just getting to the convenience store becomes a perilous adventure. It's time to prepare. You need woolly socks, thermal underwear, coat, gloves, beanie and goggles, but most of all you need snow tyres. So to make snow tyres, you're going to need a pair of old mountain bike tyres. You'll need a cordless power drill, a drill bit, box of screws, and some broad tape. And you'll also need a cup of coffee, because this is going to take you about an hour and a half to make one tyre. This is my rear tyre. You can see that the tread is mostly gone, although there's still enough rubber on these knobs to hold the screws. But I rode on this tyre for 3 months and the metal is worn almost flat. So these are not particularly safe. Here's my front tyre from last year. This tyre has a lot more tread on it. You can see that the screws still have a lot of metal. I rode on this one for 2 months, so actually I'm impressed that it's still okay, but this will be fine for this winter, I'm pretty sure. I've already done a test on this tyre. I used one of the screws from last year and it protrudes out the end of this knob by about 4mm, which is fine. So the correct size of screw for this mountain bike tyre is 3mm by 10mm, and I'm using stainless steel wood screws which have a broad back on them. That's going to give more support at the back of the tyre. It also has a perfectly round head on it, which means it's not going to wear through my tube. So before you get started, you're going to need to go shopping. You're going to need screws. This is my front tyre, which I made last year, and it has a tread pattern of 4 rows of knobs. And the tyre that I'm going to stub now is a rear tyre. It has a slightly different tread pattern, but it's from the same set, so the knobs are actually in the same place. There are 50 on either side, so this tyre is going to take 100 studs. So this is where it gets time consuming. What you have to do now is locate the correct position in the knob to put your studs. And the way you do that is you drill a hole through the center of each knob from the outer, and then you can locate the position of that hole and place your screws from the inside out. So select your drill bit so it's slightly smaller than the screw, obviously. Be sure not to drill through your hand, and make sure your holes are straight, because that's going to determine the angle of the stud. I live in central Hokkaido, which is the northern main island of Japan. And here it gets pretty cold in winter. It gets to about -20. But I'm told it used to get much colder, around -35 or 40. But alas, global warming has seen those days through. So I've finished drilling all my holes. It's time to place the studs, and for that you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver, preferably one that has a magnetic tip on it. Here's the row of holes that I've drilled, and now I know where to place my screw. Just put it, press lightly till it stops. Voila, one stud. This is the tyre complete with all the studs placed, and you can see at the inside of the tyre there are 2 neat rows of stainless steel wood screws. So all I need to do now is have a look over all the studs, make sure that they're fully through. If they're not, I'll just give them an extra half turn. So that's it. One homemade snow ice tyre, complete with 100 studs. The back is fully taped to protect the tube against puncture. All I have to do now is wait for the snow. One of the reasons I decided to make my own snow tyres. Oh, fuck. Why is it so tight? Jesus. Okay, stop.